Well, what's going on with Dignitas, man?
We've been practicing hard, and we're synergizing well, and we're all playing pretty good. So that's good.
That's good. So talk to me about then you, because you've come into the scene pretty new. I know you've competed before on the likes of Legion. Tell me, like, sort of your transition now back into the competitive scene.
Honestly, the transition wasn't too hard because I was recently on Azure Cats, which was probably 6 months ago or so, and we were practicing as much as a normal LCS team was, so transition wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and it's been interesting, though, because you guys had the rough start to the season. A lot of people were talking about how Dignitas was just going to fall all kinds of terribleness in this LCS season, and now you're on this big winning streak. What's the chemistry been like within the team to make that happen?
Honestly, after the losses, no one really took them too hard. We just kind of knew what we had to do to win. So the chemistry's been good. We've all been really friendly. It's a good atmosphere to be in, for sure.
And as far as yourself in the top lane, now that this is your first split in the LCS, what's it been like playing against the other top LCS top laners?
It's been good. They're all really talented. Everybody gets their little hate every once in a while, but it's I think everybody's a good player. That's why they're here.
Okay, so I actually want to talk to you then about what it's like playing in the LCS here, because you've got a big studio audience in front of you, right, cheering, congratulating every time you win. What's the fan experience like when you're playing in front of this crowd?
It's good. I would much rather have the fans here than last season. I remembered playing in the qualifier, and it just didn't feel the same because you were kind of just sitting there, and it's like you're just alone in this studio, and it's like, but yeah, I love the fans.
And you've played against both TSM and Cloud9. You guys were able to knock out Cloud9 for a win, but you did end up losing to TSM. What stood out to you about both of those teams when you played against them?
Cloud9, it felt like we were in charge of the whole game, but every time we'd take something, they'd take a little bit for themselves. So the gold was actually really close throughout the entire game. So that was pretty impressive that they were able to constantly be taking objectives that were on the opposite side, and they were always in position to do something.
Yeah, and in the top lane in those games, Balls versus Dyrus, who was the more difficult one to play against?
I think they're both similar. I think they're both very talented. Balls will pull out the Rumble every once in a while, but they generally have the same pool, so it's they're kind of similar. They play the big tanks, and then they just don't die after 15 minutes.
Okay, so one final question for you then. Game 4 of the day is Cloud9 versus TSM. Who wins?
I'm going to pick TSM for this one. They're very good. They're a little sick, though, so that's worrying. I think it'll be a nail-biter either way, though.
All right, you're going for TSM with this one. Thank you very much for your time. Of course, congratulations to the pretty good start for your team so far. Of course, we'll see you next week. But, guys, we got games going on. We're just minutes away from Game 1, XDG versus Counter Logic Gaming. Got a huge slate of NA/LCS action lined up for you, so why would you go anywhere else? That's what I thought. Nowhere. Guacamole goes better with LCS.